Second hour, Clay and Buck starts right now. It is Thanksgiving Eve, or I guess afternoon Eve, something like that. Thanksgiving's tomorrow. I know a lot of you are on the road, traveling across the country. Hope you're going to have a great one tomorrow. I know it's, for a lot of people, you got to think Thanksgiving is a top 3 holiday for sure. I don't know that many people who would put it at the number 1. No top. For me, I got to go. I mean, I think
it's a good question.
What is your top 3 holidays? I'm not saying in order of importance, because then you talk to people and the religious religious stuff comes into it. For example, most Catholics that I know, I grew up a Roman Catholic. Most Catholics I know would say their favorite is Christmas, even though Easter to the church is a more important holiday. But like the Easter Bunny, no. Santa Claus. I'm just talking about the coolness and the joy of the holiday. Clay, I think I go. Oh man, see, this is one of these things.
I've got my list. If you want me to start, just when you asked this question, I just did my gold, silver, bronze, my top 3 power rankings here.
You already have it.
You mentioned it, and I was like, oh, let me think about
it. That's what I'm saying. You didn't even have to. Okay, you're right. I mean, I have a feeling ours will probably 2 out of 3 will be the same. But go ahead. What is gold, silver, bronze, medal?
Gold medal, holiday power ranking for me, Christmas.
Yeah,
I think Christmas is overwhelmingly the number 1,
yes.
Right? I would be stunned if people would disagree. I think the more likely, when you are a kid, Christmas is certainly number 1. When you have kids, Christmas is certainly number 1. Maybe when you're like a young adult, you could come with number 2 on my list, Halloween. Halloween is my second favorite holiday. And I don't even know that it counts as a holiday because we don't get a day off. But Christmas, number 1, Halloween is my silver medal. And then my bronze medal goes to July 4th. So that would be my power rankings. Christmas, Halloween, July 4th, my 3 favorite holidays.
I go Christmas, July 4th, Thanksgiving, in that order. Okay. I'm not taking the theology out of it for Easter because that is therefore the most important holiday. But if you're just talking about fun time of year, I go Christmas, joy. July. I love July 4th, man. As a holiday, I have great memories of July 4th as a holiday. It's also a time when, I always feel like July 4th is a holiday where the expectations, like we're just celebrating America, the expectations aren't that you don't have to go see family. It's not like New Year's Eve where you have to throw the biggest party, which is, as we all know, a huge, don't ever try to make New Year's Eve the best night ever because you'll fail. 4th of July, if you just want to hang out, have a couple of drinks, do a little barbecue on the back porch or something, that's a great 4th of July, right? There's no...
Yes.
If you want to see family, that's fantastic. But you don't feel that it's the same. Like Thanksgiving and Christmas, people are just getting on the road. We used to drive, Clay, and I think it's a 6-hour drive. My family would drive because I have family and still do have family in Charlottesville, Virginia area. Part of the family on my dad's side is from Virginia. We would drive on Thanksgiving, like today, this day, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, every year, we would drive down to Charlottesville, I-95 the whole way.
That drive, I-95 is
that
tough.
Drive was brutal.
Yeah,
6 of us in the car. I just remember, we got lost one year in a Civil War battlefield. I kid you not. This is pre-GPS era. So we're driving around. I'm like, I think that's a cannon. Like, where are we? This used to happen. So it was a little bit of the National Lampoon's Vacation vibe of the Sexton
I bet
family.
I've been to that Civil War battlefield, by the way, as a super Civil War nerd.
I think it was Manassas. We got
across the river. You're from the Potomac. You get over there. I'll put Thanksgiving, by the way, Buck, at 4. Because I don't want anybody to lose their mind who is a huge advocate of Thanksgiving. But my top 4 would be I think Mount Rushmore, as it were.
If you're looking at just the holidays again for what they are, not spiritually or in a broader sense, but like the traditions around them, there's something especially. Do you guys get the color change in Tennessee? Because I will say, when the Northeast and New York, New Jersey, New England really hits their stride is with the changing of the leaves, the cider comes out, gobble gobble, there's turkeys running around, and there's just something really special about that. I feel like if you live in Southern Arizona, it's a little different climate, the different vibe.
I would also say, and again, this is just for sheer fun, Memorial Day's up there too. It's given Thanksgiving a run. Obviously, it's a very serious holiday, but for many people out there, it's the official start of summer, and summer is such a fun season. You know, school gets out, you're a kid, you get out for the holiday, the long summer break, you can start to travel, and for a lot of people, vacation summer starts around then. So I would put Memorial. I don't even know in terms of like activities that are fun. Again, I know there are, like you mentioned, Easter, Veterans Day. There are a lot of days that are important. You can toss in a variety of different holidays, but I think those are probably the 5 where fun is a part of them.
And right? Sometimes you catch a little shade for this one, but I just got to throw it out there. There's still this big debate. How did we? I know that historically we got to the place where turkey is just the centerpiece protein. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up. My driver, a very friendly gentleman from South Asia who is a Sikh. We had a long conversation this morning. A taxi driver, New York. I'm taking a cab in from LaGuardia, and he was saying, "Well, what are you doing for Thanksgiving, sir?" We're talking. He has a wife and a young child, and he said, "I love Thanksgiving, but I think turkey is dry, and honestly, roast chicken is better." So he's like, "We do roast chicken." I'm sitting there. I'm saying, "Buddy, I think you're onto something." People get so mad about this when the turkey. Why is it that we don't eat turkey the other 364 days of the year, unless it's in cold cut form, which, let's be honest, it's just like sodium. He's onto something. People get into this debate. I have a lot of
turkey and cheese sandwiches. I'm a pro turkey guy. Now, I understand that there is a very anti-turkey base out there, and I will say it would be, just tossing it out there, if it were the tradition that we all had steak on Thanksgiving. First of all, the climate change people would lose their minds, right? If you try to
do you see there's a recent study out that red meat, all the stuff you've heard about red meat, this has been getting a lot of play, that it's not good for you is not true.
Yeah, I think
they've done a huge study that they've been saying it makes you fat, it brings up your cholesterol, it'll heart disease. Lies. Red meat is good for you.
Do you look at calories on menus?
I mean, I should.
Yeah, I do sometimes, and I eat at a lot of chain restaurants because I got the boys and we're out and about. Steak is remarkably low in its caloric count. Did you know that?
Depends on what kind of steak, my man.
I mean, like a filet. I eat fillets. Fillets have almost no, there's a very low calorie count. The other one that stunned me, Buck, and I'm going to blow people's minds with this one, pancakes. Did you know that pancakes have almost no calories?
What?
Yes, I swear to you.
Clay. I'm trying to. We should have pre-talked this segment, man. That's crazy
unless
talk.
Big Pancake is somehow gotten the industry calorie counters off. My boys love IHOP, right? And I will take my kids. We used to go to IHOP all the time, and I was blown away by how few calories pancakes have.
Well, I mean, with or without syrup, because without maple syrup, pancakes are a doorstop, Clay. We got to hold you accountable for this.
Even with, they have all these fancy ways to make pancake, and so you can look at it and be like, okay, with and for my IHOP aficionados out there, they have all the different types of syrup, right? You got the strawberry syrup, you got your blueberry, you got your traditional maple syrup. None of them, Buck, I swear, none of them have high calorie counts. My whole life, I would have thought the least healthy thing you could eat on a menu would be pancakes. I will tell you, stunned on both pancake and steak, that they don't have very much calories.
I mean, it's definitely not the blue.
Are you looking it up right now? You look like you're reading right now. You're in disbelief over my pancake calorie.
I mean, I'm trying to pull some of that. Well, it also depends on. Look, this is where you get into a stack of 3 IHOP buttermilk pancakes with nothing on them is about 500 calories.
That's not much, right? Wouldn't you have thought way more than 500 calories for a stack of IHOP?
But when you put a pat of butter on each of the pancakes and drown them in syrup, you're getting into like 800, 900 calorie territory, my friend, real fast. Okay,
the Cinestack, which I believe is the greatest of the IHOP pancake offerings. This is like cinnamon, sugar, it's incredible. I think it only had like 800 calories. And the reason why I bring this up is I would go I would go to IHOP and I'd be like, you know what, I'm going to get chicken tenders instead. Or I'm going to get, and people make fun of me about this, sometimes I would get the salmon at IHOP. I have ordered the salmon at IHOP before.
How do they prepare the salmon at IHOP?
It's a great question, and probably why you should order the salmon at IHOP. Nobody's ever walked into IHOP, maybe other than me, and been like, you know what I want to get here today? A healthy fish. But when you looked, or I'd also get the steak tips. Again, not a lot of people probably gone into IHOP to get the steak tips. The steak tips had more calories than the Cinestack pancakes. Blew my mind. Couldn't believe it.
I mean, we're about to get inundated with emails from the various IFBB and fitness competitors in our audience. We're going to start talking about macros and that Thanksgiving's not the time to blow it out and forget all about the...
Well, Allie, who is super healthy on our crew, is already saying, but they lack nutrients. I'm not claiming that you could live forever on pancakes and be perfectly healthy. I'm just saying I thought it would be in the thousands.
I'm just saying,
if you eat pancakes,
there
would be tons of calories.
If we're talking about, the defense on a sports team, I think you want to go right to Mr. Clay Travis for the most in-depth analysis. But the guy who eats a turkey sandwich on Wonder Bread with a Mountain Dew every day for lunch because I watch him eat it, I don't know if he is your go-to nutrition guy. I just don't know.
This is accurate. This is accurate.
I mean,
although of late, I have been starting. Now, I don't want to say this because suddenly Mountain Dew may be about to support the show, and I would be very happy. I've been trying to cut soda out of the diet. My wife to not eat, drink sodas, whatever. And so I mostly have knocked sodas out. So that's why I look so healthy now. It's obviously a joke. I'm not the paragon of health. But I will tell you, I think a lot of people's brains are blown by my pancake revelation so far today.
I mean, we're going to have to do a little bit of a fact check on that one. I will say one thing that there are certain foods that I always think you want to pay for the higher quality, right? Sushi comes to mind if you eat raw fish. Don't really want to do the gas station sushi. Some of you probably on the road right now going to see Grandma and Grandpa, Aunt Ethel, your second cousin Phil, whatever. Stay away from the raw fish at the gas station. And usually not, unless it's at, what's the place called that's so fancy?
Buc-ee's.
Maybe there.
You can eat anything.
They probably fly in a chef from Osaka province who has been trained by anyway. But maple syrup, I'm sorry. I think that you want the real. I know the real stuff is much more expensive. It is always worth it. The stuff that's flavored to be like syrup but isn't actually pure maple syrup, it's not the place you want to save your cash.
It's a good point because there are lots of times when you pay a lot of money and you can't tell the difference. I'll give you an example.
Wine for me. I'll just admit it.
Wine. I can't tell. I can't tell. You could have a $1,000 bottle of wine or $100 or $50, whatever a normal bottle of wine costs. Can't tell the difference. Steak, a really well-cooked steak makes a tremendous difference.
If you don't have the right product when it comes to protein, particularly red meat, it doesn't really matter how good you are in the kitchen. And I'm pretty good when it comes to steak preparation. If you don't have a good cut of meat, it's always going to be kind of just meh. So you need the good foundation there. Probably true of a turkey as well. A large turkey, you want the good stuff. Although my mom has always been the one. I've never even bought a turkey, so I do not know the turkey
I have
stuff.
bought a turkey before. I'm just giving the shout out here. Honey baked ham, honey baked turkey, best ham, best turkey anywhere on the planet. Have you ever heard of this brand? This honey baked place?
Yeah, sure. And honey baked anything
right now,
is going to be good.
I bet there are lines out the door at every honey baked place out there. They do the best turkey and the best ham anywhere.
Do you want to open up the lines, Clay, to anybody who has very important tips for enjoying Thanksgiving in general, whether it's food or otherwise, or just if you have a really fun family tradition and revelation? We're going to sort of kick it open, and I'll probably make fun of the crying Twitter libs in a little bit here too. But we're hanging with everybody as they're either preparing the meal for tomorrow or on the way to the place where they'll be preparing, or if you're working. By the way, when I used to work in the government, federal government, at the CIA, I got to stop calling it the agency. People are like, but that's what we all used to call it, the agency. You'd get for some people, if you're a young guy, you don't want to go all the way home or something, you get like triple the pay for the day, and it's just federal government across the board. It's nice. It's a nice little holiday bonus for some people, so.
No doubt. I know there are a lot of you out there working, and I know there's also a lot of you out there worried about your kids and grandkids, what they're reading, what they're learning. Why not hook them up today with the Tuttle Twins? Right now, you can get special Twitter Black Tuttle Twins. Sorry, we're talking about Twitter. The Tuttle Twins Black Friday special, right? 2 days from now, a lot of you are going to be out. Wives, girlfriends, everybody goes out shopping. You may sit around in the car if you're a guy and not do a lot of the Black Friday shopping. My wife will be out running around with a couple of our kids. You can also take advantage of Black Friday, though, just by hopping on the internet and going to the Tuttle Twins website. If you go to TuttleRadio.com right now, you get all of the children's books, activity books, audiobooks, guidebooks, parent guides, 75% off the normal price. Plus, there's a mega bundle that includes all of the other book bundles, too. It has the teen, the toddler, the history bundles. They make the perfect gift for all the kids in your life. You can give a gift that will make a real difference in their education. All you have to do is go to TuttleRadio.com to access this special deal. That's TuttleRadio.com for a big-time 75% off both these bundles. A great gift for the holidays. TuttleRadio.com.
Keeping it real. Keeping it honest. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton.
Welcome back in, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. We got a great amount of good calls rolling in. Let me get a couple of them here as we hang out with you on Thanksgiving Eve. Wayne in Lexington, Kentucky. Strong meal move here from you, Wayne. What do you love?
Prime rib.
I love it.
Strong. High five. A+. I love the prime rib, too. In fact, actually, my favorite, I will tell you, Clay, my favorite steakhouse is called the Prime Rib, and it is in Baltimore, Maryland. That is my all-time favorite steakhouse. But Prime Rib, which is obviously what they're best known for, is a fabulous Thanksgiving edition. Wayne, do you have a special tip for how you prepare yours just the right way?
You just got to be careful and don't overcook it.
There we go.
I go close to. I go close.
Watch that temperature gauge.
Yeah.
I think that's right. By the way, Lexington, Kentucky, fabulous place. I had a really good time up there this past weekend. If you have never been to Lexington, beautiful, beautiful horse country, fantastic. I think you go closer to rare on the prime rib, closer to rare all the time for me on meat. Also love a horseradish with my prime rib. Absolutely love it.
So, see, I'm gonna tell you the truth here, Clay. Kind of outing my Thanksgiving vibes here a little bit. I will use the horseradish cream on whatever is on the plate. Good. I'll be like, the green beans, the stuffing, whatever I got, I will go horseradish cream if it is available. Otherwise, I like to mix the cranberry sauce and the gravy. I know. I'm a wild man. What can I tell you?
That's a solid move, but I think the horseradish is sauce.
Producer Allie just spat out her lunch. She's like, what are you doing?
I think the horseradish is the most underrated of the condiment associations. I think you get a win. I understand people out there like, I don't want to mix my steak with anything.
You know the one that I always want to pick a fight with, though? Mint jelly. I don't roll with mint jelly.
I'm not a mint jelly guy either.
Mint jelly.
No, I don't like that idea.
For my money, friends, the single best value on sheets and bedding comes from MyPillow. They make the incredible Giza Dream sheets. Look, MyPillow can be trusted to give you the most comfortable night's sleep ever. Clay's sleeping on MyPillow products. His whole family is. I'm sleeping on MyPillow products. I love it. The cotton in the Giza Dream sheets, though, this stuff is amazing. Comes from a region in Egypt, which is known to produce some of the highest quality, softest cotton in the world. So Mike Lindell's like, I'm going to get the best cotton to make the best sheets. That's where you get the Giza Dream sheets. Plus, he gives you a great price. No middleman involved. The savings go right to you. The Giza Dream sheets start as low as $29.99 when you use our names, Clay and Buck, at the promo code at MyPillow.com. All MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, and they're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee for the holiday season. So go to MyPillow.com right now. Get yourself these Giza Dream sheets. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the Radio Listener Specials. MyPillow.com, click on Radio Listener Specials, and use promo code Clay and Buck. The Clay and Buck Thanksgiving Prep Show continues on today. We're having a good time here. I'm with the whole crew in New York City. Clay's out in Nashville and taking calls from all over the country about people's either best tip for something really delicious for Thanksgiving. I mean, one tip that I always tell people, usually around 4th of July, but I'm just throwing this out there. Whenever people say, hey, should we get some sausage for the grill? Should we just get some, you're in the store, you're getting your burgers, you're getting your steaks or your chicken, whatever. Should we get a little sausage to throw on there? The answer is always yes. It always gets eaten. No matter, wherever you are, people will be like, oh, really? Like, that sausage, little charred on the outside. This is my experience in every barbecue I've ever been to, so you always want to get a little sausage. And I would just say, if you got any tips for us on the Thanksgiving side. Now, I've never cooked a Thanksgiving meal because I don't have kids yet, and, we're working on that, but my mom does an amazing job. So if any of you have any great ideas for us, let us know. I did want to have some fun because Clay and I are going back and forth on this a lot. And it's, I know whenever people in the media talk about Twitter, there might be a moment you're like, I'm not even on Twitter. Yeah, but you have to keep in mind here that this is a $44 billion acquisition. And that this is one of the libs. So just take some joy. Be thankful for the fact that, if nothing else, Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter is melting the libs left and right. They are losing their minds about this because this used to be a place where not only could they suppress their political opponents, people like me and Clay and others, but it's a place where they got to have their way, feel like they were more important and influential than they really are, and create a rigged game for their ideas and their self-perception. I mean, Twitter really was a narcissism playground for blue check libs for a long time, and they never had to worry about people who would oppose them being able to be platformed the same way because it would be, what you're doing is violence, or they would find some way to shut it down. The Washington Post is now on a full-on jihad against the overtaking here of Twitter by Elon Musk. They're doing everything they can. We could say crusade as well, whichever one. I don't know which one the Washington Post would prefer as terminology, but they are going all in to try to take down Elon Musk and say that he is destroying this place. But one of my favorite things, Clay, in this story where they're speaking to the Trust and Safety group. Now, just under trust and safety, this is straight out of Eric Blair, better known as George Orwell, straight out of his 1984 thought process. You'd create a group that destroys trust because all it does is elevate or suppress a political narrative based upon the needs of the left. And you'd say it's about trust and about safety. So you got to trust them, and they're keeping you safe. He's essentially obliterated most of that group, and they're freaking out about this. They're trying to pressure advertisers to leave. My favorite thing, though, was in this very long Washington Post piece trying to destroy Elon's takeover of Twitter. They wrote this under the headline, "The Wheels Come Off." In violation of Twitter's longstanding practice of encouraging reusable water bottles, tables in the war room were dotted with buckets of Voss water. Clay, not only is Elon devoted to free speech, but he overrode Twitter's reusable water bottle policy and had bottles of Voss water in there because he's destroying the planet as well as Twitter.
I don't know that I've ever said this to our audience before. I am so encouraged by Elon Musk's bravery in essentially having FU money and being willing to say to the blue check brigade, the left wingers out there, FU, which so few people are in a public fashion. I'd actually encourage all of you to go sign up for Twitter. I mean, he's ended every ban, right? Trump has access if he wanted to start tweeting again. Buck, I think that Elon Musk is going to turn Twitter into a very popular and powerful message and voice for free speech, the likes of which we have not seen in a social media era. And for people out there who are not active on social media, why this matters is through the algorithms, they were able to artificially distort really not very popular things, right? The idea that 14-year-olds should have top surgery and get their breast cut off, for instance, as if it were a mainstream idea. And that does influence the way that our conversation in the country takes place, whether you like it or not. That's dying, I think, in a big way, and it's going to become more rational and more realistic. And the more of you out there listening right now that pour in and start letting your voices be heard, the more rational and real Twitter becomes.
The Trust and Safety team kicked Jordan Peterson of all people, off of Twitter because he referred to Elliot Page by the original name that individual had. Was Ellen Page, right? I actually forget.
Ellen Page, I think.
Ellen Page, the actress.
Nominated for an Oscar, I believe.
Yeah,
for Juno, if I remember.
What was the movie with
Juno, I think.
Juno,
right?
thank you.
Really good.
For Juno. Yeah. And they kicked him off for that, for dead naming. So when they say things like, it's about safety, they're lying to you. When they say that they believe in the First Amendment, the trust and safety team was lying to you. This is about the most woke, crybaby libs creating a little cabal inside a social media company that was built, by the way, on the false promise that it would be a free speech platform.
You're right.
Built, got its users, got to the place where it was powerful enough that then they decided to weaponize it wholesale against the right in critical moments like the 2020 election with the Hunter Biden laptop suppression story. And this is now, it's fascinating to see all this exposed. They never thought this would happen. I mean, the people at Twitter who were running this, the Trust and Safety Committee, never, I can just tell you this, the last people on planet Earth that you want to have your back in a dark alley or a bar fight situation is anybody on the Trust and Safety Committee. But we're seeing the truth of this organization. And what it does is, I think, shows a lot of people everything that we talk about and tell you about what's going on behind the scenes at CNN, at CBS Evening News, at Google, go down the list, at Disney, at all these places. This is what's happening. This is just getting to see from the inside how the left wing overtakes and corrodes these places.
I think it's the most significant win for rational, sane thought in years in the United States of America, that what Elon Musk is doing right now with Twitter. And it's important that we retired Nancy Pelosi, and it's important that the House flipped. But I think you can argue the most significant thing to occur in our country in 2022, again, some people are going to think it's crazy. I think it might be Elon Musk buying Twitter because of the influence that Twitter has in a way we talk about every single topic on the planet. Just having a neutral, unbiased platform of even-handedness is so radical that it's changing things already.
For every person in our audience right now, if you're somebody who used to enjoy posting on Facebook because it gave you a voice, or you posted stuff maybe even on Instagram or things like that in the past of a political nature, you have not been getting a fair shake for years now. For at least 6 or 7 years, that is for sure, and maybe longer. You can now get a fair shake. We believe, we have to see how this plays out, on Twitter, where you can actually have a voice, and it's up to the users, it's up to other human beings, whether they want to like it, share it, follow you, all those other things, and it's not literally a group of crybaby libs sitting in a room going, oh, your thoughts make me scared, so you can't actually say that.
And by the way, I would say this too, Buck. If you are out there and you're like, I'm too busy to get on Twitter, I don't want to spend time worrying about it, I understand that aspect too. You can follow Buck or I at Clay Travis, at Buck Sexton, just at the end of the day. You're like, hey, I listen to these guys during the day. Let me see what they have tweeted during the course of the day. Or you want to check in every couple of days and just see what stories are out there that we may not get to on the radio show. I would just say, hey, go follow us. I think you'll enjoy just being able to see what we're putting out there, and the fact that I think we're starting to have more and more influence.
Real quick, apparently, I thought this was a joke. Apparently, Elon Musk really did find a closet full of Stay Woke T-shirts.
Yes.
That's real? I honestly thought that was a Babylon Bee, back in action, headline. That is crazy, but not surprising.
Yeah. Very funny and real, and a sign of how broken Twitter was before Elon Musk bought it in terms of the marketplace of ideas. If you've heard us brag about Legacy Box on their behalf and made yourself a note someday, hey, maybe I need to check this out, you need to digitize all your family movies on videotape and film. Now's the time to do it. 65 good reasons for just that, as this is the week they offer you 65% off their regular prices. In fact, if you act today, you can get their Black Friday sale price and have them ship you a Legacy Box to fill up with your family videos. This will make a great family gift for the holidays. Sharing your old family memories on tape and film can make for some of the best family time together. Legacy Box makes this very simple. We've relied on Legacy Box and had great results. We know you will too. They do all of this digital transferring in Chattanooga in a beautiful facility with 250 technicians working there. All of it's done by hand with extra care to your valuable possessions and memories. They're preserving these forever. You can go online to legacybox.com/clay to get this 65% off right now. Incredible deal. They're happy to provide this service at a great price. Legacybox.com/clay is how you get your 65% off. One more time, legacybox.com/clay.
Speaking truth and having fun. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton.
Turkey's running wild all over this country. Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show, Thanksgiving Eve edition. We're going to take some of your calls. Let me give you a little bit of an update out here, Buck. All of the counting, 16 days or 15 days since Election Day, it appears is basically done in California. And we told you this several days ago was likely to be the case, but it now, based on projections and everything else, appears to be official. Republicans will have 222 seats. Democrats will have 213. So that will be the final tally in the House. 218 is a majority. So it's not, the red wave in terms of congressional seats that we wanted, but Nancy Pelosi officially retired. Things actually went, Buck, pretty well in New York and California for Republicans, interestingly enough, and certainly very, very well in the state of Florida. Look, but that now officially is done.
We had the votes for a red wave. We didn't have them in the right places.
That's right.
That's what really happened. I mean, now that we have all the data, the numbers, everything so this is why I think it threw off some of our sense on where this would go based on the polling and everything else. I'll tell you this: if someone had told me we're going to have almost 4 million more Republican votes than Democrat votes in the midterm, I'd say, well, Democrats better batten down the hatches for that butt kicking. Well, unfortunately, a lot of those additional votes were in New York and California and didn't translate into wins in some of those key states like Arizona, et cetera. But it did give us some congressional seats in New York and California that we really needed.
No doubt. And I think that's pretty significant. And to put it in place again, tally in 2020, 7 million more votes for Democrats in the 2020 election. 2022, 4 million more almost votes for Republicans. So we're talking about an 11 million vote swing in terms of how the country voted. Yeah. And that's pretty significant.
The country's less crazy than it felt like we were the day after the midterm, I'll tell you that. There's more sane people here than it felt like, the morning after the midterm election. We're moving in the right direction.
I think that's exactly right. A bunch of you want to weigh in, variety of topics. Opening up the phone lines, 800-282-2882 as we sit here on Thanksgiving Eve. Jeff in Cape Coral, Florida. I was getting made fun of by Buck for ordering salmon. I think I've ordered a salmon at IHOP and at Denny's.
Right.
Wait, I wasn't making... Wait, hold on. I love salmon.
Guys.
Go ahead. But of all the places you would order salmon, my wife has ripped me on this for years. Is that a good move or a bad move, Jeff?
They come in, here's how it happens. They come in a vacuum sealed, and they're frozen fresh, okay? Any of the distributors, I'm not going to name any, but the ones that deliver to the restaurants, so all the cook has to do is prepare it properly. For example, you can just do that and do like a lemon wheel and some dill on it. Boom, it'll be fantastic.
So this is a good question for you. I am not a salmon, expert in terms of taste testing, but my argument would be like a big restaurant, let's say a chain restaurant like a Logan's Steakhouse or Outback or something like that had a salmon, would not be that different relative to a super expensive restaurant salmon, whereas a steak may be substantially different in taste. Is that a crazy take, or do you kind of buy into that as a restaurant guy?
No, it's not crazy at all. It's both relevant. I mean, for example, any fish, if it smells like fish, it's not fresh. I don't care what fish it is. And as far as when the steak comes, I mean, this is, you were talking about calories comparison, fats flavor. You're not going to get as many calories in the filet as versus a ribeye because fat flavor. And just think butter, pancakes, everything.
The other thing thank you very much, Jeff, for calling. Oh, wait, you had something else? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say one tip that we do at home. When we do our steaks on the grill, it's $25. I forget if we got it, one of the big stores, but it's the thermometers you put in there, and they are absolutely perfect every single time.
Oh, there's no question. You got to have a meat. People do that. Thank you so much, Jeff. So I do cook a lot. The things I cook a lot of are eggs and red meat, which probably explains, a lot about my dietary habits. I cook a lot of eggs and red meat, and the basic key to eggs is to cook them slowly and be very active, because they can go wrong very, very fast and they turn into rubber. It's bad. But with steak, people that think they can gauge, especially if it's 1.5 inches thick, which most of your like New York strips, your ribeyes, you're going to want about 1.5 inches thick on that one. Very hard. There's this palm. Do you know the palm test, Clay, where you could touch different parts of your palm for medium,
to try to see
rare.
how well it's cooked and everything else? Yeah.
If you're a chef, you can do that. But for most of us, you push it, you're like, it's a little squishy. I don't know. I guess it's done. And you never want to bite into a beautiful steak and have it either way too overcooked. That's the worst. Or when it's like cold in the middle. That's happened. That's happened. You don't want that. We got Trent in Kansas. Got a smoke in the turkey comment.
Hey guys. Big tip on turkey. It's all in the prep. I personally do a 3-day brine, dry, season prep. And then I'll smoke it for 10 to 12 hours, real, low and slow. And it comes out to be the most perfect, juicy, white meat, dark meat. It doesn't matter. Turkey. It's, anybody can cook a turkey, but it's all about how you prep it.
Thank you for the call. I don't doubt that at all. If you're spending 3 days on the turkey, it better be good. But Rick in North Carolina, really quick, you're going to obliterate my pancake argument?
Oh, he just dropped.
Where did he go? He said he had a degree in chemistry, Buck, and he wanted to go after my pancake.
Yes, the biochemist wanted to point out that your pancake argument is both numerically untrue and could lead people to ingest a whole lot of sugar.
My pancake diet, I think people are going to lose a lot of money if they just eat lose a lot of weight if they just eat pancakes. We'll be back final hour before Thanksgiving. We're going to head down to Qatar with our boy Alexi Lawless doing the World Cup. Should be fun. Come hang.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton on the front lines of truth.